Ladies and gentlemen, the Variety Power of Women Award to Octavia Spencer. Oh my God, thank you.
Is that a shelf? Oh, I'm going to put mine on the shelf. Take your shoes off, Viola. We're going to be here for a second. Thank you so much for being here. You and Julius being here means the world to me. It really does. And I know you guys are all terrified. You see 3 pieces of paper and they're, but here's the thing, guys. It's 18 font, so. The eyes are the first thing to go. First of all, I would like to thank everyone at Variety for giving me this honor alongside this incomparable group of people, Priyanka, Kelly, Patty, Michelle, Mark, and Chrissy. Thank you to my fellow City Year LA board members who are here today in support, Michael Walsh, our chair, Mary Jane Stevenson, the executive director, and Michelle Sobrino Stearns. And thank you to, yes, that's a name we all know. Thank you to everyone at my table who have been part of my career for some time now. I thank you for your support. And thank you to all of you who chose to be here on Friday the 13th to celebrate 2 powerful forces, strong women and philanthropy. Let's be honest. The past few weeks have been unbearably dark. Mother Nature, an indomitable female force, reasserted her power across the Southeast, and in doing so, affirmed that there is such a thing as climate change. Fellow citizens in Puerto Rico, Texas, Florida, and parts of Louisiana suffered catastrophic devastation. And now, philanthropic efforts involving millions of people are leading the way in their recovery. In Las Vegas last week, a domestic terrorist gunned down innocent men and women to be hailed the deadliest mass murder in the U.S. history. Well, in the wake of all of that violence, the Vegas community banded together and donated to blood banks. Their swift acts of kindness saved lives. And if that weren't bad enough, this past week, the film industry awakened to a scandal that has rocked us to our core. Scores of brave women came forward and recounted stories of sexual harassment perpetrated by a producer who had abused his power for nearly 3 decades. And as a result, women across the world are banding together, leading the charge to ensure that these victims are heard and policies changed. Now, all of the aforementioned incidents demonstrate the transformative power of women and philanthropy in our society. So thank you, Variety, for being a lighthouse in a sea of darkness and illuminating what happens when these forces are combined. Now, I'd like to ask you all to take a moment with me. Close your eyes. Close your eyes, I promise it won't be long, it's 18 font. Close your eyes. Think back to your high school days, your first day of 10th grade, how nervous you feel about being in a new school. Now, I realize this might be traumatic for some of you, so let's just fast forward to 11th grade. You've solidified your status. Now you're a junior. Are you popular? Do you make good grades? Are you a part of student council or on a sports team? I understand that it might be kind of traumatic, so let's just fast forward to your senior year. Graduation. How hopeful you feel. Life's new experiences. Are you off to college? Now open your eyes. Look around. Think about this. What if you had dropped out in the 10th grade when you were feeling so nervous about that new school? What if you didn't graduate? Would you still be here today in the same capacity? I can honestly tell you, I would not. I would likely have been a statistic. I am a firm believer that education is the key out of poverty, and that's why I've been a part of City Year, the City Year family, for about 7 years, and a member of the board, the Los Angeles board, for 2. And at this time, I'd like to thank Stacy Snyder, Chip Sullivan, Leslie Feldman, and Jeffrey Katzenberg for introducing me to City Year, a force on the front lines of education. Thank you, City Year, for your commitment to education and for helping to keep at-risk students in school and on track to graduate. For those of you who aren't familiar, City Year's AmeriCorps members commit to a year of full-time service in schools where they work as tutors, mentors, and role models, serving students from grade 3 through 10. Did you know that in the US, every 31 seconds, a student gives up on school? I did not. According to City Year, students who drop out of high school lose about $670,000 in income over a lifetime, compared to adults with at least a high school diploma or GED, and will earn $1 million less than if they'd graduated college. They are also 6 times more likely to end up in prison. City Year's work in at-risk communities across the nation is emblematic and life-altering, and brings to mind Robert Kennedy's inspiring words. Each time a man, and I would offer, or woman, stands up for an ideal, or acts to improve the lot of others, or strikes out against injustice, he sends forth a tiny ripple of hope. So in closing, I'd like to thank City Year for your ripples in society's ocean, because in my mind, a sound education can turn the tides of poverty. Thank you so much.